um, that we have just begun recording, and I would like to introduce our speaker, Robert, and I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name.
Oh, Edick.
Edick. And his session is Phonics Chants and Activities. Do they work? So welcome, Robert, and fingers crossed everything goes fine.
Yes, fingers crossed. Hello, my name's Robert, and today I will try to do a PowerPoint presentation focusing on phonics chants and activities. Do they work? I'm going to try one more time. If not, I will come back and do it all by... Oh, sorry. Could you give me screen sharing? Excuse me, the host. I'm
sorry, you're not the host again.
Sorry.
Yes. I spotlighted you, and I have to remove the spotlight to make you a host.
I'm sorry.
Okay. You are now a co-host.
Okay.
And let me spotlight you again.
Thank you. I love technology.
Yes, sorry.
No. I have many problems many times. Okay, I'm trying. This is what it should be. Okay, now I'm going to show my presentation. Hopefully my computer does not lock again or freeze. Okay.
There we go.
Okay, sorry. Okay. Okay, so again, title, as I just stated. Okay, now introduction. I'm going to focus on general information, mostly on the English for elementary school education in Japan, just a little. Of course, you probably know this. Then about phonetic awareness, explicit phonetic awareness versus implicit teaching. And lastly, the study. Hopefully the first part is just a review for you. Okay, now, the English system in Japan now, in 2020, for fifth and sixth grade, the English class is mandatory. It's become a subject. They also receive a grade, which is different from before. And they should have about 70 hours per year, which is a big increase from the 35 that they've had before when it was considered a culture course. Okay, now, phonemic awareness. What is it? It's the ability to focus on and manipulate the phonemes. That's the different sounds in English. Now, question is, how many phonemes are there? And the answer is, there's 45. 16 vowels and 29 consonants. Now, that sounds like a lot compared to Japanese. So why is it important to learn this? First, it helps in learning listening, reading, speaking, and a little writing also. By learning this, it helps you with your reading and spelling. You pick up quicker. Early stages of success in this is a better predictor of how you will do in the future. Also, and lastly, develops proficiency in reading. All right, now we have the implicit and the explicit. Implicit is where the students just pick up the information, the phonemic sounds, just by listening. And explicit is where you explicitly explain each sound. Both have the pluses and minuses, but for phonemic awareness, it's very difficult for Japanese to pick up all the sounds. So I'm going to focus on why explicit awareness is good. Oh, okay, what is it? It's, sorry. Oh, okay. Ability to focus and, wait, sorry, wrong way. Gives you the skills to unlock and decode the language. Leads to better reading achievement. Improves segmentation of 3 phonemic sounds. So you're able to separate the sounds. Results happen when phonemic learning is linked with physical learning, the physical letters. I'm sorry if I'm going a little fast. It's hard to tell speed. Okay, so I gave you the really quick background. Now, the study. All right. Now, there's only one research question. Do phonemic activities increase students' phonemic awareness? The phonic activities, the chants, and the games, activities you do. Okay, now for the method, there's 3 things we're focusing on. Participants, which I'll explain. Quiz. This is what I use for the pre-test and the post-test. It is something I made, so it has to be validated. And the last one is the treatment. Now, participants. There are 57 elementary school students from one school in Chiba Prefecture. Ages are 10 to 12, so your average 6th grader. This is a public school, which is very important, not a private school. So these are your average students. In the first class, there were 29 students. In the second class, there were 28. In my original report, I said there were 30, but some students did not take both the pre-test and post-test, so the numbers had to be removed. Their data had to be removed. And of course, since it's a public school, they have varying English levels and abilities. Some go to JUCO, some don't. At that time, they have many different interests and so on. Now, this is the quiz. I'm sorry. Now, something I've created, it's 20 questions. On the left is what the students are given. On the right is what the teacher uses to give the quiz. It's a verbal quiz. The word quiz is used and not test because students would panic as soon as you say the word test. And they think they're going to get evaluated on it, which this does not affect the performance or grade in the class. So as you can see, the words some look very difficult. Some are easy. Some you think, wait, why are these used for the students? I'll get to that in a minute. And also, you'll notice that all letters are in uppercase, just in case a student hasn't quite acquired the ability to recognize the lowercase letters. They should, but if not. Now, let me go on to the test. Okay, now, there's 2 examples before they even start the test to make sure they understand it. One is very easy, sunny. So on the board, I would draw the box, put the C, S, and X. I would say the word twice, sunny, sunny. Then ask the students which is the correct letter. And they're very good at understanding it's an S. In number 2 example, the word is something that they would not know, mitochondria. But this quiz is not focused on the words they know, it's focusing on the phonetic sounds. So, and they all listen for the M. And they said, oh, okay, M. So there. This is done before they start the quiz itself. Then, understanding is checked. This is checked by me, it was checked by me and by the homeroom teacher. So homeroom teacher makes sure they understood in Japanese. what they were going to do. And lastly, each word was repeated twice for the test. Now let me go on to the test. Sorry, going back to the test for a second. The reason there were very difficult words was to make sure that they didn't know them and they weren't trying to spell it. So the quiz was only focusing on the phonemic awareness. All right, now here are the pre-test and post-test data. 60 students compared to 57. Your means, your standard deviations, your min and max, your mode, which one happens most often. And here, this is using the Roche program. You had this real separation, student real separation, and question real separation. What this means is that for the questions, are the questions of different difficulty? And how reliable is that? The more separation, the better. So the varying questions. And for reliability, the closer to 1, the better. So on our pretest, it's very good. For the students, there's not much separation. So that means they're pretty homogeneous of the group. And reliability is not that good. But again, we're not focusing on that. We're focusing on the difficulty of the questions, if there's variance there, and the reliability. And also, as you can see in the pretest, we have a lot of variance. Unexplained variance, 51%. That's not the best, but it is okay. Now going to the post-test, the separation decreased. So there wasn't some hard questions and some easy questions. It got smaller, but the reliability went down also, which isn't bad, but still it's kind of close to 0.9, which is close to 1. But our unexplained variance went down, which is good. Now, the reason I bring this to your attention is to show that what I'm using to show improvement or no improvement is a valid test, which is very important when you're doing research, is making sure, especially if it's your own pre-test, post-test, that's valid. Because you can do great research, but if you don't have a good test, there's no validity in it. All right, now I explained that, I can now move on to the treatment in quite a lot of detail. Okay. Now, the first part was a textbook chant. This is a couple years old. So this is using the Weekend Book 2. In the back of the book, there are 4 chants. Each is about 2 minutes, and they were done for every class. The chant was changed every 2 months, so the students didn't get bored. At that age, they quickly get bored with it. That was the first part of treatments. And this is a slide from the textbook. It's like, B, 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 bear, C, K, K, cat, and so on. So that's the first treatment part of the treatment. Second treatment was a special chant. Now this one is just the phonemic sounds only, which would be the a, b, k, d, e, g, h, I, j, k. Of course, for the vowels, just the short sounds. It's about a 1 minute long, and this was done each class, so about once a week for about 4 months, the last 4 months. Kind of getting more from the still implicit, but a little more focused. And here's where we start to explicit teaching. A few words, 3 or 4, were focused on just their sound, pulling it out. So we took it out of the chant and focused on it. So the students said, oh, okay, this is C. Oh, that could be C, K, and Q, the K sounds. And so to check their understanding. And that lasted for about 2 minutes. And that was done for again, the same time for the 4 months after the special phonics chant. Now, this is the big part of the treatment, was the game. Set up, students were put in groups of 4 or 5 students with one set of lowercase ABC cards. Okay, the length is about, length of the game was 10 minutes. This was done for 3 months, so 6 times. Now for the rules of the game. Only 3-letter words were used, real or unreal. Focus on vocabulary. On vowels each time. Sorry. 7 minutes. Oh, I have to hurry up then. Okay. And focus on vowels. 6 words is taught at a time. The teacher said each word 1 time. Each letter at a time, students picked the cards. It was repeated. Everyone repeated the sound. So lots of practice on doing that. Here are some examples. Fig, ig, hep, sap. Okay, now let's get to the results. The pre-test, 60 students mean standard deviation. Post-test, right there. As you can see, it looks like there's an improvement. Here is the histogram showing that, the curves. As you can see though, it's not a normal distribution, so you can't do a normal t-test and analyze the data. You need something closer to 0.5. As you can see here, very good distribution, easy to see in the box plot. Next, so I did an R analysis using R Studio and came to this number. Now, let me explain what that means. So again, back to our question, do it happen? Answer is no. P-value is 0.04. For significance, it has to be closer, it has to be smaller. 0.05 is no significance. This is 0.04, very close, or it's a tiny, tiny bit of significance. Here, effect size, it's 0.1, which is very, very bad, which is very low. So it means there's a very, very small effect. Okay, so there's little, effect size is very little. Conclusion. After 39 hours of teaching English, chanting, phonics didn't show any great improvement. This is 4 hours of explicit phonetic awareness teaching isn't enough. For more improvement, more time on task. Here's my contact information. Or Edick. If you have any questions, please email me. If you would like a list of my references for the background information, please email me. And that is what I have now. So do you have any questions? I'm sorry if I went very fast at the end. I realized I was running out of time.
Thank you very much, Robert.
Sorry.
Can I ask everybody to unmute your mics and give him a big thank you? And does anyone have any questions? We've got a couple minutes left. So unmute yourself if you've got a question.
Thank you for your presentation. Did you present on something similar last year?
Similar I did, yes, but it was the 3rd and 4th grade.
Ah, okay, because I think
only,
maybe I contacted you.
Oh, yes. It's only 3rd and 4th grade, and it was just the phonics chant. Okay. At the same time, I did the 5th and 6th grade, and I included this activity. Okay. So the beginning part is similar, the test is similar, but the data at the end is different. Okay. Yes, Ruth.
So my question would be, do you think you would have gotten different results with younger children? They're sixth
No,
graders.
I don't think so, because I don't think their minds don't understand explicit explanations very well.
What kind of explicit explanations did you give them?
Well, remember, for younger ages, under 9 and so, they're very good at copying and repeating.
Mhm.
Understanding how something breaks down and thinking logically about it. Younger students can't do that. They don't have the mental ability to do that, is what I've read.
Mhm.
So
But you don't need to do that. I mean, basically, you were doing 3-letter words, right?
yes,
Good. But any
yes.
4-year-old or 5-year-old can do that without an explanation, make the association.
But I was doing more explanation, more focus on that with the students, making it more explicit, focusing
I
on that.
see. Like, this relates to this, and
Yes. So using their
ah,
mental ability to try to understand it better. And which I thought, when I originally looked at the data, I'm like, oh yes, they got it. Improvement was there. But when I looked at using the R value and the P value, it didn't show any significance.
I don't know how you would begin to explain phonics to kids.
Well, but the thing is,
Dead easy.
Sorry.
It's the sounds of English.
I'm sorry, what you were saying?
Mhm.
I'm sorry. Well, explaining phonics to kids is dead easy. It's the sounds of English. It's not the alphabet. The
Yeah.
alphabet's the
not
letters. Sounds of English.
But also
a language.
But
Mhm.
also getting the student to recognize that a certain sound goes to a certain letter
Mhm.
sometimes takes a while. And I'm not sure if the younger kids would be able to do that, make the association.
Not if you explain it, they won't. But if you show it, I mean, there's a million ways to do it.
Yeah, but the thing is, are they getting the mental connection, or are they just copying?
They're getting the connection, totally.
But at that age, they don't really have the mental ability.
They don't need it.
But then they're
Excuse
just
me.
copying.
Excuse me. This is
Yes.
quite an interesting.
Sorry, I'm sorry, Ruth.
This is an
It's okay.
important and interesting.
I'm totally friendly.
Oh, yeah.
Conversation. But our time is up. And if you would like to continue this conversation, please go to the Hangouts and they will give you a room and you can continue talking about this.
Okay.
And thank you very much again. It was quite interesting. And good luck with the rest of your research.
Well, thank you. And sorry if I went a little fast.
It's okay. People can watch it again and slow it down, I think. I'm going to stop the recording now and
All right.
end this session.